Hello ladies and gentlemen and movie lovers of all kind, and welcome back to the channel. As always, I am your host Brett Murphy, and for today's video it is going to be another top 10. And I am going to be looking at the top 10 Nicolas Cage performances. So Nicolas Cage is easily one of the most over-the-top, absurd, outrageous, but undeniably talented and versatile actors working today. He is arguably one of the most iconic and certainly among the internet's favorites. His latest movie, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, released in theaters this past weekend, and saw him playing the movie version of himself. So I figured, why not take the time to appreciate the man, the myth, the legend himself by counting down his top 10 performances. So will his latest land among his best? Well, we're about to find out. Before I hop into the actual top 10 itself, I just wanted to let you all know that I have an entire playlist dedicated to all of my top 10 videos. So be sure to check that out, and I guarantee you'll find something you like. And so without further ado, let's hop right into things. Of course though, it wouldn't be a top 10 on my channel if I didn't cheat just a little bit and have a few honorable mentions. Those being Cameron Poe from Con Air, Ronnie Camerari from Moonstruck, H.I. McDonough from Raising Arizona, and Grug from The Croods and The Croods 2. And now, number 10, SpiderMan Noir, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I doubt many will include this on their lists, but look, I adore this movie. It is one of the best animated movies ever created in my humble opinion. Although Cage isn't even the star and doesn't really even have a major supporting role either, his voice work was excellent and his character was among my favorites in the movie. His old-timey accent, always turning everything oddly but comically morbid, and I simply loved the look of his character. Cage absolutely killed it, and I hope to see his character return in the sequels. Number 9. Benjamin Franklin Gates, National Treasure 1 and 2. Oh no! Likely another controversial pick that has been included on my list that you will likely see excluded from others. But the matter of fact is that this was my introduction to Nick Cage as an actor. Yes, way back in 2004 when I was 5 or 6 years old, I watched this movie for the very first time and have been a fan of Nick Cage ever since. Number 8. Miller Mandy. Even though I don't personally love this movie as much as others out there seem to, there is no denying that this one definitely put Cage back on people's radars. He gives an incredibly powerful, emotional, and deranged performance. This movie as a whole is just really messed up and wild. But Cage's performance is even more so, and that's why this experience works so well for so many people. Number 7. Castor Troy, Face Off. This may very well be the movie that Cage is most known for, so how could I not include it? I think that this is the movie where Nick Cage found the best middle ground for hamming it up just enough. He didn't go too overboard so that the movie became one big joke and was poorly reviewed, but given that the idea for the movie as a whole is so over the top itself, he knew that he needed to go all out, and he did so very appropriately. And that is a huge part as to why this movie has become so beloved for so many. Number 6. Stanley Goodspeed, The Rock. Nick Cage as a full-blown action movie star? Yes please. Nick Cage starring in an explosive Michael Bay movie? Yes please, once again. Nick Cage starring in a Michael Bay action movie alongside the late great Sean Connery? Yes please, once more. Need I go on? Great movie and great performance from Cage. Number 5. Damon McCready / Big Daddy, Kick-Ass. Have you ever wondered what it would be like if Batman were in the real world and gave zero shits? Well, it was Nick Cage's job to make that a reality for this comic book movie adaptation, and he did so flawlessly. Once again, this was one of those performances for him that was just over the top enough, with one super badass iconic scene, real genuine down-to-earth motives, and a truly gut-wrenching character arc. I love this movie as a whole, and one of the biggest reasons is because of Nick Cage's performance. Number 4. Nicolas Cage, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. During his Wired autocomplete interview, the man himself said that this was his toughest role to date, and likened it to a high wire act, because he was playing this over-the-top yet surprisingly down-to-earth and relatable version of himself. It features many of his usual Nicolas Cage-isms and a healthy helping of laugh-out-loud comedy. Pair him with Pedro Pascal, and the two of them make a surprisingly perfect comedic duo, and you have yourself a recipe for success. And that is exactly what was delivered. Number 3. Rob. Pig. Between Mandy and this movie, Nick Cage starred in 12 other movies, excluding his voice work in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Teen Titans Go to the movies, and The Croods 2. The average audience score, based on IMDb's audience ratings across those 12 movies, is a 4.68 out of 10. Somehow, after all of that, despite all of the odds being stacked against him, he starred in a movie called Pig, and had absolutely everyone who had the pleasure of seeing it screaming for him to, at the very least, be nominated for an Oscar, if not to win another. Somehow, it just didn't happen, but he did publicly state, once again in that Wired autocomplete interview, that Pig was his favorite movie that he's worked on. Number 2. Ben Sanderson, Leaving Las Vegas. Whether you love this movie or hate it, Nick Cage has only ever been nominated for 2 Oscars and has only ever won 1. Ladies and gentlemen, Leaving Las Vegas is indeed that one win. Though this may not be my personal favorite of Nick Cage's performances, I do truthfully and honestly believe, and this is not a joke at all, I am 100% being serious, I really do think that this man should have at least 2 or 3 Oscar wins at this point. So I felt that I should probably show some major love for the 1 Oscar that he did actually win. Number 1. Yuri Orlov, Lord of War. For me personally, I believe that this is Nick Cage's best performance of his entire career. It is a true story that has high stakes, blends in some real-world drama, a few dashes of comedy, and a whole lot of Nick Cage, delivering a non-stop epic monologue chronicling all of these insane events. The fact that he wasn't even nominated for any major awards for this performance still blows my mind to this very day. And I really do truly believe that this is one of the biggest mistakes / regrets that the industry has ever made and will ever have. So that is all for today's video, folks. Be sure to let me know down in the comments if you agree or disagree with my top 10. While you're at it, feel free to let me know what your top 10 favorite Nick Cage performances are and what top 10 you'd like to see me do next. If you enjoyed that video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button, and if you'd like to see more content, consider subscribing to my channel and ringing that little bell icon. That way you can be notified about all of my latest uploads. And as always, stay safe, thank you so much for watching, and that's a wrap. Hey you, yeah you, if you made it this far, just know I appreciate you, and while you're here, consider hitting that subscribe button.